You've gotten to meet Casey Neistat a couple times.
I met Casey Neistat a couple times. I've just been trying to play it cool. I'm sitting in here doing my work, and you guys are all talking in there.
They're talking about marathons the whole time. This idea of like marathons being really hard and like fainting at the end of the marathon. And dude, the one value you add to this conversation, you didn't need to get up, but you just come out of the door and you're like, our friend died. Our friend died running a marathon. And I'm like, fuck.
We end up at this place called the Comedy Shop, which she confused with the Comedy Store. The people that were there were people that were slammed walking by that they just convinced to come in and watch a comedy show. And actually, we got to the front door and they were trying to do their promoting to us at the front door. You know when you like walk by a place and they're like, hey, happy hour, you know, come for happy hour. That's what they were doing for this comedy show. They tried to do the promotion pitch to us and Athena was like, no, I have a reservation. And they're like, we've never done one of those before. No, she's like, yeah, I got it online. I got it online.
Oh. Welcome to the Smart Nonsense Podcast, where we talk about smart nonsense.
It's great to be here. It's really great to be here. Day 3 in New York City. Sorry, dude. I didn't mean to bring the tea down like that. I wasn't ready.
No, dude. You've been in the clam shack getting fried by these two laser beams all day long.
This is where I work.
It's crazy. I also see you working, and you're hunched over like Notre Dame, dude.
That's because my desk is a 20-inch tall table right here.
Right. It's
so you see how I'm clammed up right now? This is how I have to work all day.
Right. Tartan. No, it's sweet, dude. We're in New York. We're hanging out in the studio. You've gotten to meet Casey Neistat a couple times.
I met Casey Neistat a couple times. Funny thing about Casey Neistat, I've just been trying to play it cool. All right. Just acting like I don't know the guy, don't care about the guy.
Dude, hey. I think about that every time, dude.
Yeah.
I try and ignore him, and then he'll come into the studio. I'll like toss him like a deuces, but kind of like I'm focused on my work. He'll come over and like pat me on the shoulder, like he wanted to dap me up, but I've kind of been ignoring him, and I feel bad. And then I like
play hard to get.
Dude, the hardest. I don't know if he'll ever come to get.
Well, I was thinking about this. So I came in yesterday, and you basically rode to work with him. So you guys came in the front door at the same time. This was my first experience at your studio. And I was just like, hey, dude. My name's Henry. Great to meet you. And like that was kind of it. He like complained about a couple things to me in the hallway while we were coming up to the office. And I was like, this guy actually changed the course of my entire life.
And he's just special, dude. Well, I had seen him because I came out of Sweet Green. He sees me every time when I have like bags of Sweet Green. So he just knows me as a Sweet Green guy. And I'm peeling out of Sweet Green. He is like coming this way, so I like peel into him at the same time.
Ooh.
And we like
banana split.
Yeah, no, it split, but it came right back together at the top of the banana. And so now we're hanging out and we're like ripping down the road, and there's like 5 stoplights before we get like close to the office. And dude, he's just a maniac. I don't know. The whole time I was thinking about his story where he's like, his brother, was it his brother? Van Neistat.
Yeah.
They were trying to like go to the airport or something, and he's like. Van was like, Casey, can you drive me? He's like, I can drive you, but I'm not going to enjoy it. I don't want to be there, or something like that.
Oh, I can drive you, but like just know, or we could share a ride somewhere, but just know like I'd rather be riding alone. Yeah. Because, you know, I don't like talking to people in the car.
So the whole time I was thinking that, because I'm like, he probably didn't want a banana split converge.
Oh.
I don't know, because we don't really know each other. I don't know if he knows my name, but we've like interacted like 10 times. And so we get together and like we're kind of having a conversation about like marathons and shit because he's just obsessed with them right now. And but like he doesn't respect like street lights or anything or traffic, and he's on this little like his boosted board. So he's just ripping through red lights, and I'm going to brake, and then I just see him. He's like 20 feet ahead, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta burn this, and cars are coming. So I don't know if he was like trying to do like a maneuver where the car sets the pick and he loses.
He's trying to get rid of you
because it's kind of a weird.
Kind of throw you off his scent. I'll give you one more though. Because this is another funny play it cool. I'm cooler than Casey Neistat. I'm sitting in here doing my work, and you guys are all talking in there, and just mid conversation, he's like, "This is the fucking coolest backpack. Like, this is the highest quality backpack right here." And you guys are all talking to him, and then you're like, "Hey, Belky, oh, this is your backpack," and I'm like. That is my backpack. And I get in there and he's like, these zippers on this thing, this Toomey backpack, it's the best fucking backpack in the world. It's best. It's like Kevlar, this other version. You have a better version than mine. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's a good backpack. I just play it cool. He leaves. I'm like, I only have that backpack because I scrubbed through every single Casey Neistat vlog to figure out what the fuck backpack he used.
Yeah.
And now it's my backpack, but he doesn't know that. He doesn't have to know that because I'm
That's the
cool
crazy
guy.
thing, dude. When I have conversations, because we're as big of a deal as Casey Neistat, when I talk to people, yeah, you want
This film camera I have? No,
show it as a prop.
Well,
dude.
yeah, because we don't do B-roll. This is the backpack, but Pop,
nug.
what you probably don't know is this film camera I have this because of Van Neistat. I do.
Dude,
I do.
just let him.
And now I'm
cream all over
cockeyed.
you,
My
fucking cockeyed
hat.
Joe. No, that's sick. I thought he was talking about my backpack at first, so I kind of got giddy, and then I looked down and it was your backpack next to me. And
Which is really, so if that wasn't clear, this is Casey Neistat's backpack.
right.
He's complimenting his own backpack
Oh,
on being an awesome backpack. He doesn't know that I know that it's his backpack.
Right. And what I was going to add to that is it's scary when you realize people that are fans probably know a shitload about you, and you have no idea like what they know. You just know that they know some things.
I'm play a cool guy.
Well, what's funny, dude? You're over here, so you're in this room, the little podcast room. But on that side of the green screen on the wall, that's where we like hang and work. But you've been, hunched over here. They're talking about marathons the whole time and having like divergent, convergent conversations. No one knows what's going on. But up comes like this idea of like marathons being really hard and like fainting at the end of the marathon. And dude, the one value you add to this conversation, you didn't need to get up, but you just you come out of the door and you're like, our friend died. Our friend died running a marathon. And I'm like, fuck you.
It wasn't that giddy. They were talking about people collapsing at the finish line, and I walked in. I did do what you said. But I wasn't happy about it.
What?
That our friend died, collapsed at the end of the finish line.
No one's happy about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty sweet.
But that was my addition to the conversation.
Right.
That was a lapse, actually. That was, for a second, I wasn't playing it cool.
Yeah. I was like, Buggy, go back, play it cool, dude. That's a tricky thing. Like it's noticeably try hard. If you get up from your couch and walk into that threshold, you got a threshold here. There's no threshold in there. I can just spin.
I was also doing something though. I was going in there to grab a tripod, but
Cockeyed Joe.
It did.
I thought you were gonna shoot a short in front of Casey, and you're gonna do your stupid voice.
No, they were being too loud. They were being too loud.
Yeah, they were.
But the second they left for lunch, I shot my shorts because I ripped my shorts too.
Oh fuck! Did I turn this off? Dude,
so
I carried
that's
yesterday.
Casey Neistat, and I play it cool. I played it cool with Casey Neistat, which is cool.
I'm glad you came here because I haven't seen him in like 4 months, and all of a sudden he's here every day.
Both
so it's
days.
kind of cool.
That's hilarious. It is interesting.
Oh.
I think a lot about this, which is like your persona on camera. I think for most people, he is completely different off camera. I would say, dude, like he's kind of clammed up. He's a little quieter. He's a little more introverted. He'll say some crazier stuff. Like on camera, he's just like Mr. New York. It's like, hey,
yeah.
It's like totally different. It's not totally different. It's like Adam Savage described it once as like your personality, but then cranked up 10% for like showmanship. And I know that Casey always says that like his wife never knows how he's feeling about something. Like she has to watch his vlogs to figure out like how he actually feels about something, because he's just
well, yeah, that's the thing. He's been there forever, and like he's just clammed up by himself. But I mean, dude, if you listen to the podcast and then hang out with us in person, totally different. Although if you hang out with us together, it's probably the same. But if you hang out with like you one-on-one, or well, definitely me one-on-one.
It's just different. You just gotta, because you gotta, like, if you're going to entertain, you gotta crank it up.
Right. Like we don't talk. I was thinking about this at the start of the podcast. Like the way we talk at the start, it's just an exaggerated form of how we speak normally. Like even now.
Hey,
like,
come on, don't give them the secrets.
Ugh.
This is real life. Ooh. Dude, I have some really old threads. Like I have one on here that says Jan Genius Content Thread he's gonna test with Dylan. You said I've got the genius. I've got it figured out.
Oh,
I've got Jan. I need Jan.
That was nothing genius. That was just I want to make podcast clips.
All right, I'm gonna.
You were hoping that would save the business. I don't know if we talked about the business.
You didn't even
anytime soon. We haven't talked about this. This wasn't even in my notes, but we've been talking about it a lot. Here's the thing. All right, this is an entrepreneurship podcast partly.
Yep.
you really, all right. For one, we thought for a long time we were good entrepreneurs. Turns out we increasingly have our doubts.
Yeah.
It's really hard to make money. I think it's just like, hey, honestly, we're probably not the best business people. We're like good enough at it, but like really we're good at like.
Although like I don't know. Sometimes I think that, but then I'm like, but we're still in the game. We stay in the game, which is probably it's like the grit. It's like that's the
We
one.
won't die. I think it's impossible for us to die.
Yeah.
Largely because of you. You just find money places. But
in the couch, dude. No, you found 18 grand today. That was
well, we'll see when it hits.
Yeah.
But that 18 grand, dude. So speaking of business, like you can kind of just get into it without having any idea what you're doing. Like, okay, what am I saying? Stripe, they have this thing when you set up a subscription, it's like, hey, do you want to tack on the thing that says sales tax?
Yes, sir.
And like since the start, I remember like when I first went in Stripe, I don't go in Stripe very often, but I remember I had to create a link and I saw that and I'm like, do we have to add this or not? I'm like, probably not, right? Sales tax, that's for like buying groceries.
Yeah, like we don't want another line item for sales tax. That's just gonna make it harder for the customer to pay.
Exactly. Why would you add money for them to pay? Turns out somebody's got to pay it. And that somebody is us. About a year later, we realized.
On the record. Now we're on the record.
Well,
Tough.
I don't.
We're not compliant.
I'm going to post this in 2024. So who knows?
Not compliant on the record.
Yeah, but turns out like everyone's not compliant, really. Like most people, there are very few companies that stay ahead of it. But basically, like whenever we deal with like Canada or the UK, they have this value-added tax. It's like 20% of whatever you're selling.
VAT, dude.
The VAT in the hat, we've been talking about it. We had no idea. So we've just been like charging people much less, 20% less change over original.
It's like we're selling all this stuff with no sales tax, basically.
Right.
And now we were supposed to be capturing 10 or 20% sales tax on every purchase. And now at the end of the year, Stripe's like, okay, give us all the sales tax so we can dish it out to all these countries. And we're like, VAT? Sales tax? Where? Who?
Do you have it?
We have $0 to spend.
Right.
That's the VAT in the hat.
I partially worry about that too with our company. Like I don't know, with editors and stuff. I feel like we investigated enough, but like, we could get surprised and like, hey,
because
you actually owe taxes
because our whole team is independent contractors, not employees. Yeah,
which
it's compliance.
I'm pretty sure we fleshed that out, but it's just like we all of a sudden get walloped with this thing that could be like 50 to 100 grand out of nowhere when we're at our lowest, and like literally we had to, dude.
Not the wallop,
dude. The wallop is like yesterday. Belky saying, "Hey Dylan, do you by chance have 40 grand so we can make payroll this month?" And I'm like, "No, I got 20. Do you got 20?" And then we just everything's in and out. And I'm like, Belky, this is the last time it's going back into the business. Once it's out, it's out. That's it. We just gotta figure it out.
Yeah, it's not. It shouldn't be a two-way street where you have to inject personal cash into the business.
Right.
Especially a bootstrapped one. You want to be,
I know,
one-way street capturing the money. Last time we ever two-way street put money into
knock
the business.
on wood. Also, I don't know if we went through like another round of just like anarchy. Belky's been in this nuclear fallout recently, and it's because we realized we had like a lot of editors or animators that weren't really like doing the strongest work that represented what we're doing. Like, hey, we got to break this off. Basically just it was like
a round of layoffs, basically.
Yeah.
Which was 10 out of 50. How many? What?
20%.
20%. 20% cut.
Right.
Right. So we cut 20% of the team, which is how we generate money. And we got hit with the VAT in the hat at the same time.
Right. So it's been a tricky month. That's partly why I've been partially depressed, crying, and I'm not even the one bearing the brunt of this.
We're all bearing different brunts.
It's hard. The point is, it's hard. We talked to our Patrick Campbell dude, friend and client. He's basically like just starting to crush it. But when we talk about business with him, he's like, yeah, business is fun, but it sucks. And that just never stops. It's
Forever.
Like always fun, but sucks forever. It's just like,
it was crazy too to hear him describe. So we were talking about, asking about these different business models we could go in. And without us prompting him, he started to describe one. And he's like, you should or could probably do this, but you're going to do it and you're going to think it's a lot easier than it is. and then you're going to be pulling your hair. And I was like, that's literally exactly what's happening. 7 weeks ago, we started testing this new recruiter model of the business, like a headhunter agency. Thought it was going to be super easy. Here we are 7 weeks later pulling our hair out because it's not easy.
Well, it's like the simple but not easy. It's like why I'm bullish on it still is we have a ton of demand for it versus like the other things we talk about that's easy. It's like, hey, just pay for like $5 or $7 grand a month for this animator. That's like super simple. It's like, oh, someone wants that, we just match them up. But like getting someone to want it is a little bit harder. Versus I think just a lot of people want this thing, which is the recruiter, like, hey, we're gonna find an editor for you. But it's just like a month or two of back and forth before you even see like $5 grand.
We figured it out though. We figured it out yesterday.
Oh, we did. It was dark yesterday for a little bit, but then we went to the bridge to Terabithia and we got out.
Dude, that's actually crazy. The bridge to Terabithia. This was the Manhattan Bridge. We walked to the Manhattan Bridge. It was the bridge to Terabithia though. And what did we figure out?
Well, we spiraled because we have this team. It was once 50, now it's 40 because of the round of layoffs, and they're all animators. That is their strength. That is what they do. That is also what we like doing. That's what we do with our shorts.
So good at it.
But it's really hard to sell that because most people don't want it. And our audience, which we want to sell to, we want this flywheel of like, let's create content and that helps sell the product that we have. Our audience isn't companies that need like 5 to 10 grand a month explainers. Probably. We don't really know. But
no. It's like our audience would buy like a $20 t-shirt, a $15 plush stirred toy.
But like you don't need the whole audience to buy certain things. It's just like it's a very niche thing. So if we're getting 100 million views a month, say, it's kind of crazy to use those ad slots to promote something super niche. Like it'd be much better. Our qualm is like it'd be much better for us to just spend time on Twitter selling to like all these operators and business owners on Twitter. That's like our whole network. But like, what the fuck's the point of YouTube? Why are we spending stupid amounts of money on that and have a team of 10?
But then we're like, let's look at David Dobrik, who did ad inserts really well. He had one company he worked with, SeatGeek. It's like, that wasn't content audience fit. Like, David Dobrik's going to sell basically concert tickets. But like all these years later, I know the exact ad read. I know anytime I'm going to go to a concert, like it's just SeatGeek's top of mind. So that's where we were kind of like, okay, maybe we broaden things up. Ooh, knocking next door. Maybe we broaden things up. And dude, this was actually kind of the stupid thing. Because I was putting out a long form video, I wrote an ad read for Clipped. And I just kind of wrote what I thought Clipped should be because we have no fucking clue what it is. And then I remembered that when we were on the bridge to Terabithia. And I was like, dude, this ad read I just completely made up is actually, it's like a decent pitch. It's like if you ever need a video editor from $1,000 a month because you're just trying to get started making content all the way up to super high-end animated stuff, go to clip.co. It's like,
Yeah.
Huh.
And we had this a while back. We were talking to that guy, Patrick Campbell, about how spiraling is just like, it's just like what humans do because you have this uncertainty, you try and figure it out, and then you get like, there's more uncertainty and you start fucking spiraling and then you like find certainty. Like we thought that was the idea, this like pyramid of like, we're just here for video editors, whether it's like a super cheap one or a super expensive one, which is like an animator. And then we kind of like got lost in the sauce on the models and like couldn't combine them and then like refound that and
by going broad, which will be interesting because to me it looks like I keep thinking it looks like the Doug DeMuro, the car enthusiast YouTuber, who so he like us gets probably tens of millions of views a month, and he spins up this car enthusiast auction website, Cars and Bids. Kind of to your point, it's like most people in his audience aren't listing cars and buying rare cars on his platform. But the marketplace is still very successful because it's like the only thing he promotes.
When they do need that, that's just the first
Cars
place.
and Bids.
Right.
He sold that for
dude.
clip.co is the place to go.
But that's so
he sold that for at least a majority stake, I think, for like 37 or 40 million to the Churning Group. So I'm just like, if we're just the video. Oh, that's the other thing I said in my ad read. I'm like, if you literally ever need a video editor like ours, because our edits are top of the line, cream of the crop, go to clip.co.
Well, here's the thing. Well, the tricky math is like our company Clipped actually runs super well on its own without us. It's like, say it brings in 100K a month and the costs are 60. It's like it should
50,
make
yeah. It's like
basically $500,000 of just like cash. That's what it should be making without like, because it's pretty much all referrals. Like we're not doing any selling. But you add us to that mix and suddenly like we're taking 25, our teams are taking 25, 30. So now it's just suddenly we're not making money.
It's our content, yeah.
So we're basically like, when we talked to Patrick and he was kind of giving us business advice, he's like, hey, all you got to do is figure out how to get, we got to order food. How to
Finish your point.
Get out of this rut. Like make the money to get the business person, Jack, in. Do whatever it takes to get that, which we think is like, clip to go, there's the plate to go.
Well, there was another bridge to Terabithia. He's like, just bridge this gap.
So we're trying to bridge that, but like long term, it makes no sense really for us to sell video editors. All we want to do is have a watermark that just says like edit by clip.co. Granted, at the start we can promote it more so with like cute little jingle thing, but like long term, that should just be a watermark so people see it on all our videos, and then we're actually selling like plush toys, whatever the fuck it is that we want to sell.
Right. You got to order our dinner pop. Let me get us away from boring as fuck. I'll get out.
One more, dude. We got one more.
What do we have time for one more? Oh yeah, we got time for one more. This is a quick one.
Yeah.
And I hope we run the photo of it. I was driving around in Chicago late at night one night, and I look up, and I'm sitting smack behind this car that's got 0 on the license plate. Not to be confused with Brian Johnson's. That's my thread. Dude,
no one even bit in the adults chat on that.
Yeah, that was kind of sad. And actually, I sent it to my family, too, and they were like, that's crazy. You know how many cars there are in the state?
Why are you've already tested this in the market. You got 0 feedback from anybody.
You said it was crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know they made zeros. I thought
girlfriend,
like one was.
My girlfriend said it was crazy. So I got 2. Yeah, I was about 2 for 10 on interest in that one.
Oh, there'll be B-roll too of that.
But so, that was crazy. The other thing I did Sunday night when I got here with Athena, we went to see
$1,000.
We did that, but we also went to see a comedy show. We wanted to have a laugh Sunday night. Couple mistakes were made. One, a 10 p.m. comedy show on a Sunday night. Watch out.
Tough
okay.
crowd. No crowd.
Potentially. So to combat that, we're like, well, we'll just go to, what's the most famous place? The Comedy Cellar.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go to the Comedy Cellar. We show up at the Comedy Cellar. Because we were doing this on a whim, we're in the standby line. So that's not going to work.
Okay.
Then Athena said, well, there's tons of comedy places nearby. So she looks one up. You got to poop? Or
no.
Oh, you're just worried?
I'm worried for you.
Oh, she's like, let me just look one up. And to make a long story short, we end up at this place called the Comedy Shop, which she confused with the Comedy Store, I believe, which is probably like
in LA,
second rate to. Well, there is a Comedy Store here, I think.
There?
Yeah, and it's like second to Comedy Cellar.
Now.
Yeah, so now we're on like number probably 6 or 7 or 10.
Fuck.
Dude, a couple things.
One, homeless people off?
One, we were one of 4 people in the audience.
1 of 4. Well, and two of 4.
2 of 4.
You made up half the audience?
Yes. 10 p.m. the Comedy Shop.
Whoa, dude.
And we're this close to the stage. We're in 2 seats that are literally on the stage.
That might have been a swingers place, like underground.
Might have been. It was weird.
Okay.
The comedy wasn't funny.
Well,
there were about 12
crowd,
different
dude.
There were about 12 different comics that they had come through. And dude, there were 4 people
wait, how many?
Like 12 comics. They just kept coming.
Dude, they got the sweatshop, dude.
Well, yeah, because there are so many comics in New York that want to get set time, right? I assumed.
Well, not there, dude.
Nobody. Dude, there were a lot of comics.
Better do it in a mirror, dude. That's crazy.
It was crazy.
Do they get paid for that? I hope not.
No, probably not.
Fuck. So what'd you do? You were just like...
Yeah, and like half the time it just wasn't funny. Like half of them totally
Dude,
bombed.
That's so painful.
It was painful. And at the same time I was like,
my God.
yeah. At the same time I was like, stand up is really hard.
Yeah. Well, I wonder about that because I was
really hard.
crushing at my wedding. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't really crushing, but like everyone's teed up to laugh, and it's a room of like 60 to 100 people, whatever it is.
Oh, at the wedding.
At the wedding. Yeah.
Well, it's all about the audience. It's all about the
Yeah.
energy.
Right.
And how you like transfer energy to the crowd. There were 4 of us and we were half of them. And it was 10 p.m. on a Sunday. Like we were kind of tired too.
Right. Well, everyone was. No one kind of knew why they were there. They all probably thought it was a store.
No, literally nobody knew why they were there. So it actually wasn't 4, it was 6. I exaggerated.
Oh, okay.
But I say 4 because they were just yanking people off the street. The people that were there were people that were slammed walking by that they just convinced to come in and watch a comedy show.
Fuck.
And actually, we got to the front door and they were trying to do their promoting to us at the front door. You know when you like walk by a place and they're like free sample or like a happy hour, you know, come for happy hour. That's what they were doing for this comedy show. We got there and they tried to do the promotion pitch to us and Athena was like, no, I have a reservation. And they're like, we've never done one of those before. No, she's like, yeah, I got it online. I got it online.
Oh, that's tough, dude. Yeah, Comedy Cell is hard to go last minute, so I think that's where the scraps just get swept in.
It was a scrap house.
I will say the one time I went to a sick comedy show here with I saw Shane Gillis.
Oh, nice. Well, that's legit comedy.
Yeah. It sounded like you didn't get that.
No, actually, no. I don't even think these comics had names.
Introducing,
dude,
Chuckles.
legit. Like there was an MC, and all of them would just like be like, they didn't know who she was. She would introduce all of them. They'd be like, thanks to the host. Like that was just a thing. It was tough, dude.
God damn, dude.
It was actually crazy. They pulled me up on stage at the end.
You didn't say that.
I forgot.